Good evening, everybody. We are live tonight with Yin Yang the podcast. Got a couple of things in the works tonight. I am just getting logged into our TikTok and making sure we're all across the board for everybody, since this is a very important episode. Okay, we're live. All right, we are live now on TikTok too. So now we're everywhere, guys. Again, welcome to Yin Yang the podcast. Me and Yang have something in the works today for you. And this actually came highly requested, not just from followers, but from people that I individually know. Because Sheena and I have become like pros at starting small businesses. I blame Sheena. She blames me. It is what it is.
Just like creating businesses.
Listen, there's a lot of hobbies you can have in the world that are not good for your health. I think starting a business is one that's okay.
Yeah, especially because it's a hobby that brings you money.
Absolutely. So we are, of course, going to attempt. I know last week it didn't work. So we're going to attempt for our disclosure to go ahead and play. People on TikTok, you will not hear a disclosure. So just one moment.
Yin Yang the podcast does not own rights to any background music or noise you may hear. This podcast is completely opinion-based and may include adult content, adult language, and verbiage not suitable for any underage viewers. Information found in this podcast may not contain exact accuracy as it is opinion-based. Please listen at your own risk.
All right. So, for starters, I want to say if anyone hears any background noise, Yang has some things going on. I have a harassing dog that I think everyone just saw pass by me. So it's just one of those things. You're going to hear a little bit. We're at home. That's what happens. So no big deal. Ignore our background unless, if we start yelling at somebody, y'all can help us.
Right.
And then tonight's topic, how to start a small business. I want to preface this entire conversation because it is going to be kind of a learning podcast with it is the hardest thing in the world to start your own business.
It really is. Not really, I don't know if it's more so the hardest or the stressfulness. Like the most
stressfulness.
I'm making up words. Stress.
So, nope, we're going to go ahead and copyright that word as of January 13th at 8:03 p.m.
Right.
Well, and that's kind of the thing, starting your own business sounds good in essence. All your friends talk about it. When you're younger, people are like, oh, I'm never going to work for somebody else. I'm going to start my own business. I can tell you that 85% of my friends do not have their own business.
Listen,
100% of my friends said they were gonna.
Just because people say it's a new trend, it's a new what's out there, that you have to have a side hustle, new business, start your own business, it is not for everybody. So don't feel bad if you're not doing it, you're not interested. It is really not for everybody.
And you know what? And in saying that, this podcast probably isn't for you, tonight's podcast, because of that. But, you have a friend that is an entrepreneur. You have a friend that is chasing a dream. Support that friend. So listen to this podcast tonight so that you know how to support them. Because that's the biggest thing. I can teach you all day long the core things of starting a business. It's not hard to start a business. It's hard to run the business. And
it takes a lot of
so
time.
when you see a friend that launches and they're like, hey, y'all, I'm launching my business on this day. be the friend that shows up for them. Share their page, share it with all your friends and family. Sharing something with your friends does not mean that you accept everything about that business or that company and you know all their secrets. Sharing something with your friends and family says, hey, I support small businesses. And this
Right.
person is using this business to feed their family.
Hold on, I have an invitation here. Hold on.
Do
I
not
seen it.
accept it.
Okay, because I was like, I'm not techie, so I don't know what's going on, but
So I apologize, y'all. So she's not used to TikTok yet. But what
No,
that
I'm
is
not.
more or less somebody trying to invite us in for some kind of like battle.
Oh, okay.
Where
Don't
whoever
do
gets
that. I
the
don't want
most
to
like
battle.
flowers and yeah, we can't battle you, dude. We're in the middle of a podcast. But whoever you are, please feel free to watch our podcast.
Yes.
We look forward to talking with you later, maybe. So that's so funny. I just got an invite.
Yeah, I'm like, it kept popping up, and I was like, well, am I supposed to do something with this? Listen, don't send me no invite because I'm not techie. I don't know.
So the whole
I know how to
time we were trying to
reply.
get on co-host with each other, some guy kept sending me a back-to-back invite, and I was like, decline, decline, decline. So then yours popped up, and I almost hit decline, and I was like, no, this is the right one. Accept this one, Amanda.
Yes,
Because I was just like, dude, I don't know who you are. No, I don't want to be on some thing with you talking. I don't know you.
right.
But that's apparently there are a lot of content creators, so that you know, Sheena, that make their money via the gifts on TikTok in those battles.
Oh, okay. Listen, I'm
That's
too
just
busy
not
doing
our
other stuff.
forte.
I don't know all this social media stuff.
I don't know. Maybe I'll keep my lashes on and keep my hair straight, and I'll jump on some lives from Yin Yang the podcast after this,
Listen, don't hit
and
me to
rack us
jump
up some
on.
money.
I'm not jumping on no live. All I can do is text you back, and it takes me about 3-4 days to do that. So
she just says as a friend she's on a business thing. Like, I'll call her on a personal note and be like, girl, I gotta talk to you. She'll be like, okay, I'll put it on my schedule for Saturday at 4. Is that good? And I'll be like, girl, I just want to know what you was doing next weekend. Like, it ain't that serious. But that's also part of being in business. That's what happens. So I try to explain this to everybody, and Sheena of anybody is one of the best witnesses that I have to what I'm about to say. Nobody is responsible or can chase your dream harder than you can. You can pay everybody else in the world to chase something you want done, but it'll never be done right or correct if you're not in it. You can't pay someone to have the same dream you do. There's not a soul out there. My ultimate dream, if I could have anything in the world, I would have a magazine right now.
Oh.
And see, and Sheena, me and her we have a lot of the same dreams in that aspect. Her businesses are a lot different than what I choose to do. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that, I'm a hippie and she's not. But our businesses are a lot different. However, our ultimate dream for both of us is just writing. And that's where the magazine kind of comes into play for both of us.
Yeah, I would have like 50 books out.
Right. Yeah, if I could just write all day. But, we're both logical and have real jobs too. But that's the thing. When you are first starting your own company, guess what? You're not just like quitting your job and you get to start with all this money from the bank or anything like. No, it doesn't really work like
Escalades. That. Yeah, it doesn't.
And you hear all those stories about, well, so and so did it. Yeah, they're lying. That's not how they started. They started just like you and me, working a 9 to 5 and then working 5 to 9 on their, their own personal dreams. And then that extending even from there.
And taking that extra money and putting into getting things started, buying supplies.
Which is what she did.
So.
And that's why she's saying that, she worked. And I remember, she worked 2 jobs for a long time to put the money away to launch her businesses and to get herself, to where a point where she needed to be. I don't work 2 jobs ever. I just work the same job for like 80 hours a week. And I never stop working. Which honestly, I love my job, so it's not really always a problem. The only time it's a problem is when it does cut into things like my podcast or, time that I need to focus in what I'm doing. I don't have a bunch of businesses. I handle all of Yin Yang's podcast stuff, all of their PR, all of their marketing, all of those kinds of things. So I handle all that for the podcast. And then I am actively working on a book launch for this year for my trilogy. So that's kind of what I'm doing. For those of you that are always like, man, Sheena's got so much going on. I promise y'all I'm a lot busier than I look. I'm not just sitting around letting Sheena do everything by herself and hoping she has a good day. I work about 70 to 80 hours a week, Monday through Friday. And then Saturday all day is podcast everything. Because for those of you that don't know, on our live here on TikTok, and some of the people maybe even in our live throughout Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, we also have a morning podcast on Saturdays called Coffee with the Maries, which is our current events podcast. And so we have a podcast every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. and every Saturday evening at 8.
You know what I want to say? I want to chime in on that. Like, if you're a type of person also, you got to get 8 hours of sleep plus a night, starting your business ain't for you neither.
It's not.
Listen, I don't know the last time I got 8 hours a night, and I will get a nap whenever I can. You can call me at like 12:30, and you would be like, "What? I'm taking a 20-minute nap. Leave me alone." Like,
listen, Sheena had to call me and wake me up at 6:00 this evening because I was taking a nap. She called me and she's like, so like, did you still want to do this meeting we were going to do? And I was like, yeah. Oh, give me 3 minutes. Because I didn't realize that I continued to sleep. But last night, because I work late at my regular 9 to 5 job, well, my 9 to whenever job, but I work late there. So I didn't get home till like almost 11 last night. And then I went to bed at like 3 a.m. and I have to get up at 6 for our podcast. So I was just like, no, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. And then so after I got our morning podcast stuff done, I was like, ooh, I can get, and actually I'm going to be honest with you right now. I said, let me lay down and get myself a 40-minute nap. Y'all, those things are not real. 40-minute naps are not real. You can't just sleep for 40 minutes. You will sleep over your alarm.
I done slept over, I don't know how many 30-minute alarms, like, for real. I that doesn't work. Woke up 4 hours later. Dang, really?
So, and that's one of the biggest things, the biggest challenges in getting into a small business is the reality. Number one, quit trying to sell or promote to your family and friends. Not that they're not supportive, not that they don't love you, because I have some of the most supportive friends and supportive family that I could ever ask for. I really do, y'all. However, that's not your audience. What, you only going to sell 13 items all year long? Every year you're going to expect your family to buy those same 13 items? That makes no sense. Starting a small business means you have to branch out. You have to get out there in the world. And that's a scary thing for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. And that's what I was about to say. Like, I don't know about other people, but like, I can tell you, me and Sheena work together on a lot of stuff. She kind of like hires me on the side to do little things for her companies and stuff like that whenever she needs my assistance, because she is so busy all the time. And so she'll bring me on occasionally to help. Sorry, y'all, I'm just in here twisting my hair. That's an anxious tick that I do. By the way, y'all, this is my actual hair. Like, this isn't a wig tonight. I didn't have time to put it on because I'm a slacker. So this entire time that I've been wearing, right? This entire time that I've been wearing that wig, I do have real hair under there, y'all. Like, it's real. It exists. It's mine. It needs to be colored horribly bad. But it is real. Anyway, so sorry. See, that was an ADHD moment. That's another thing. If you have ADHD and you're going to run a small business, make sure you have a task list, because without it, you will die.
Try running multiple businesses.
Right. Well, and that's what I was saying. Like, Sheena runs multiple businesses. So not only does she have like the podcast on her plate that I, drag her out of bed and force her to do with me twice a week so that we can reach our magazine dream. But she also has, other things in the works, and that's why we talk to y'all about the different things that she is working with, the different things that she's doing, all the different companies she has and the sponsorships that she provides is for all of those reasons. Because 90% of her day is occupied with all of those items. So we are going to slowly jump into how to start a small business. One of the biggest things I want to stress is it is hard work. There are no days off when you run your own business. None.
You have to put in your all, your dedication.
When you're on vacation, everything.
122%.
Right. I even when I went on my cruise, I went on a 5-day cruise. The entire time I was on the cruise, I was making content. Because it becomes everything in you. People are like, oh, you're obsessed, or oh, this or oh, that. It's not about obsession. Sorry, y'all, my light is too bright for my eyeballs. There we go. So it doesn't just become an obsession. It's who you are. It's your baby. It's your business. Mm-hmm. So it's not just that it's hard work and that there's no days off. The only thing that I can tell you is I promise you it's worth it. It's worth the late hours. It's worth the stress, because every time you get a little bit closer to your dream, your heart flutters with a feeling of, and that's, for me, that's what the launch of the podcast was. That was the next step in my dream. And so, the podcast quickly became my little baby. And if I'm not at work, I'm sitting in my little podcast. Y'all like my little podcast area? I got that hung up today. But I'm sitting in my little podcast zone over here with my books and everything. And I'm figuring out more ways that we can get this out to more people. Because we do talk about a different topic every week. We go out of our way to make sure that we cover everything, and we take all advice. If you send us something, you're like, hey, I need somebody to cover this, we do it. And that's what has launched this How to Start a Business podcast.
Awesome.
So, step one. What do you think the logical step one is, Sheena?
Getting an idea of what you want to do.
Yeah. Because how are you going to launch a business if you don't know what kind of business you want to launch?
Right.
So let's think of a fake example. So we're going to create, and just so y'all know, all this is on the spot because me and Sheena did not have time to talk before this podcast because I had to brush my hair. So when she saw me 45 minutes ago, it was in a messy bun on the top of my head, and I had to brush and straighten it so that I would look like an adult for this podcast. But so let's create a fake business. All right. So throw an idea out there, Sheena. What kind of business are we launching today?
Kickstart Fitness. Haha.
All right. So Kickstart Fitness. And I would like you to know, as I wrote that down, everybody, I spelt it wrong. So on my paper, it says it's Kickstart Fitness.
That works.
So
too.
we're gonna launch Kickstart Fitness today. So Kickstart Fitness. All right. So we have a plan. So logically, in the name of that, what does that sound like? The type of business it would be?
Something to do with fitness.
Right.
Yeah, you can do like fitness motivational coaching. We can do like a boutique. We can do like all kinds of stuff with fitness.
All right. So for the sake of the podcast and the information we're going to give out, let's say it's a boutique.
Yeah, online store.
All right, so an online boutique store. All right. So that means we officially have a plan. All right. And I'm assuming that Kickstart Fitness would be the name of the business.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a plan and a name. So
But we need
number
to
one
check our
is
name to make sure that our name is valid or usable, I guess. Because you don't want to go through and put your name on all kind of paperwork and building uh images and posting, and then you come to find out your name is not even available. So yeah, I done did that before. It is not fun.
I
You
was
had to
just
go on.
about to say that is coming from experience. You could tell by the tone in her voice that she has been down
Yes.
that road.
Yes. You done created Facebook pages and everything, and then you like, what in the world? That is very time consuming to go back and redo everything after you done come up with another name. So yes, I am speaking for experience, and you can tell I am still hurt by it.
Listen, no, I get it because I've done the same thing. In fact, we almost ran into that problem, and we think we're in the clear, but we don't know. But because of our name with Yin Yang, we had to legally add the podcast to it. And we're just hoping that we stay out of the clear by adding the podcast to it. And we're just going to leave it at that. So that's one of the biggest things is you got to make sure your name's not taken. And you don't just have to make sure with Facebook. Because there's multiple businesses with the same names on Facebook, you know? You need to check with the federal government and your state government to make sure there's not another business name registered to that. Then you also need to check to see if that website would be available.
Right.
There are so many different things to check once you have a business.
Oh,
But
yeah.
for the sake of our podcast, we're going to pretend Kickstart Fitness doesn't have any of that.
Right. It's good to go.
So we got a plan. We got a name. The next thing we need to do is to legitimize the business. So you don't want to go out there and make your Facebook and make your website and do all those kinds of things if you're not even able to get an EIN number, if you can't get a business bank account, etc. So what you're going to do next is you're going to go to irs.gov and you're going to get your free EIN number. It's free, y'all. It costs nothing. It's only 10 minutes of your time, but you can only do it Monday through Friday from 9 to 5.
It's very simple too.
It walks you through the whole process, so we're not even going to go over how to do it. If you ever have real problems trying to do it, please feel free to shoot us an inbox and we'll walk you through it, you know, but it's not hard at all. It's going to take 10 minutes of your time. You can do it right from your cell phone. So you can do it on your lunch break whenever you're at work. So once you got your EIN number, the next thing you're supposed to do is open a business bank account. Now, some people prefer to have their bank locally. I can tell you two things, and these are just my opinions from doing both. I have had a local bank, and I have an online bank now. So my current business has an online bank, and I love it. I love everything about it. It's easy to use. It's easy to, put funding into. It's easy to use that card to pay for things. And it has some really good catches. Like my business bank, unless I go in and release it to do so, will not let a foreign country charge my card. So if I want to go buy something and it's going to come from China, I have to go in and tell them, yes, it's okay. I really want to buy this item. Let's go ahead and do this. And they will legitimize that business, make sure it's a real business, and then they will let me do the transaction. So it stops me from getting scammed. So that's what I like about the bank I use. And I use a bank called Found.
I like
so
I use them for one of my businesses as well. They're a good online bank. And
right, and they give you the option to send invoices and stuff too straight through their bank.
Right. And one thing I do like about them is that, well, if you have just an EIN number, you can still open an account. Because many banks won't let you open an account until you actually have the EIN plus open your business license through your state. because they want your
Correct.
state
That's what I was about to
documents.
say about the local banks.
Yes, they want your
So,
state documents. So if you haven't, or you know, you're not in a business where that's required, then Found would be an awesome choice because you can just open that account with your EIN information.
right. Like the perfect example is our podcast for that. You know, our podcast is a registered podcast with the federal government. It is a business. It has a business bank account. However, I am not required in the state of Georgia to file for a business license for a podcast. I'm only required at the point that we make $100,000. So if y'all want to go ahead and make that happen for us now, I will gladly
Yeah.
go register our business with the state of Georgia tomorrow morning. Oh, well,
Yeah,
Tuesday
and you'll
morning.
take 50, I'll take 50, and then we will be
Right, no big
registered.
deal. Yeah, and then we can
Yeah.
do more podcasts because we'll both have a salary worth of money to put into podcasts for y'all.
Mhm.
So, you know, just go ahead and do that for us, guys. No big
Yeah,
deal.
sponsor.
Somebody out there
Somebody
has it.
sponsor us for a year.
Right, give us 1 year and we'll go viral, we promise. Because personally you can't shut me up. So, and
Right.
eventually Sheena will get tired of me and she'll start making faces, and that'll be the point when we go viral.
Right.
When
If you
she's
give
like,
me
"Oh
enough
man, somebody
energy
shut this
drinks, I
girl
won't
up."
shut up neither.
I wish I just needed energy drinks to talk all the time. I was definitely one of those people like in school that always got the report card that was like, your kid's super sweet, but she talks too much.
Yeah, I don't even know why I drink energy drinks. Probably because of the flavor. They really do absolutely nothing for me.
So the reason they do nothing is because at some point your body doesn't need energy, it needs rest. And I don't know, you know, and maybe I need to have my doctor call you about this, or we need to get you a
Maybe.
whoop band.
Because
But
I drank a Kickstart the other day and went to sleep.
listen, so not to say that like I'm bragging about this or nothing like that, but I'm one of those people that can literally drink coffee all day and go to bed at 8 p.m. without an issue. And I always tell people it's genetic. Like I get it from my mom.
Yeah, I don't know. Caffeine doesn't keep me up. Like, caffeine doesn't do anything to affect my level of tiredness.
If anything, all it does for me is help keep me awake to keep me focused.
Oh,
like it keeps me awake enough to be focused, and that's it. It does really help me with focus, but I don't drink normal coffee, so y'all better get y'all some mushroom coffee. It works.
I need to try it. I really do.
Me and her keep having this conversation, y'all.
Right.
She's never really going to try the coffee. I'm going to have to bring it to her house. In fact, just so y'all know, and I'm just going to put this out there now for everybody, in March, we are having a virtual book reading. So if you know an author, have that author reach out to us if they'd like to be on the podcast that night. But I will be in Sheena's town for that podcast. So
Yay.
I will bring her mushroom coffee. We will see how much more focused she is that day.
Yeah. Because I'm going to drink a whole pot.
Well, then we got to I'll bring an extra coffee pot with me then, because I want some too. So all right. We got our plan. We got our name. We got our EIN number. We got our bank account.
Right.
Okay. And let's say that because it's an online store, we went ahead and got the online bank. But it is an online store. And the estimated profit, because you know that you have a spectacular product and it's going to sell out quick. So your estimated profit is already at $100K.
So you need to get a retail business license through your state.
Boom. So, and that's the important part. Now, you're not required to get one prior to that, but my best suggestion for you is if you are going to be selling stuff in an online store and you think it's going to take off, to go ahead and get it now. In order to get that business license with the state, you have to register your business with the state. And in registering your business with the state, you need to make sure you have your articles of organization. That sounds like, oh man, that is a fancy document. That is going to be so hard. Guys, you can go online and type in articles of organization, Georgia State or South Carolina State. You can fill in the items that you need to fill in for your specific business and then print it, and then you have it. And that's what you file to get your registration with the state so you can get that business license. I don't know about other states. I do know about South Carolina. South Carolina, it runs you about $150 to register your business with the state. And then your retail business license is an additional $30 on top of it. So it's not a huge expense, but it is an expense you need to know about. All right. So you've done all of that.
Right.
All right.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to order some products, right?
I mean, are you? Because, when doing all that, that all took you 2 weeks, and that seemed really fast to be able to launch a business. So you got a business license, you got your ID all in your head.
Oh,
You got a
no. Before we
name.
order products, don't we well, we can put an order in for products, but you still need a website. How are we going to get people to order from? You need a website.
Yes, website. So now you got to launch your website. And you got to figure out which hosting platform works better for you. If you're super tech savvy, I'm sorry about that, y'all. My phone is letting me know that I wear a Whoop, and it's a medical bracelet, and my phone is telling me that I need to go to bed for 19 hours and 36 minutes.
See you next week.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. That's going to be on there all week. Dang it. So with your business launched, you got the website, you got to find the domain host. And it depends how involved you can be. If you are quitting your job or you do not work and you are doing all this, you have all the time in the world, my best suggestion to you is to build and host your own website. It's not really, really hard to do. It takes a little bit of time. It's a little bit harder to do if you're doing it all on your own, if you're hosting your own. But you don't have to. There are multiple platforms out there. Help me think of some, Sheena. There's Ionis.
I was about to say Ionis, you got GoDaddy, you got Webador.
Webador,
yeah.
They got Wix.
Weebly.
Yep, and Wix will let you bring your domain over. So you buy your domain. So let's break that down because I don't think other people understand that. So you're buying your domain and getting a host for your website are two different things. You can buy your domain on like Ionis or GoDaddy for $1 or $2, just depending on whatever special they're running.
Yeah,
and
then
I
would say that GoDaddy has now changed it. If you want it for $2 or $1, you have to buy. You get $1 for the first year, but you have to do 2 or 3 years. So you have to pay regular price for year 2 and 3, and you have to pay it all up front.
Okay, well that's good information to know. I didn't get mine through the GoDaddy or anything like that. I got mine through Webador, which was the hosting platform that I used.
Yeah, I use Ionis, which they're pretty straightforward, easy to use. I would say I haven't had too much issues with creating the site and getting the domain. My issues came from, customer service issues. But
I'm just pulling up our Facebook so I can see comments as they come in.
Gotcha.
All right.
Get your domain, order your domain, and then you can branch. If you use a site that has the option for an online store, then you can have things housed in one location, but you don't have to get your domain and house your store with the same company. So you can buy your domain through Webador or Ionis and use another service for your online store if you like. It's just your preference of what you need done.
Correct. And you want to look at different store levels and things like that. But that's not the only type of thing you need to be looking at right here in this phase. The other thing that you need to think about right at that second is finance. Listen, a lot of people invest their own money into their businesses. And I'm not saying not to do it because I am a guilty party. However, there are grants out there, so many grants, especially if you are African American, if you are a woman, if you have a low education, different things like that. Depending on what you're trying to launch, there are grants out there that you can get. So you're going to use that time while you're building your website to also be looking into those grants, because you need to get your finances in order and you need to go ahead and start using an accounting software. When you're first launching a business, I always use an Excel spreadsheet for my profit and loss until I can get it into something like QuickBooks. But if you do not start from the beginning with some kind of financial system like QuickBooks, there's other things too. I'm not throwing QuickBooks name out there. They're not sponsoring this podcast, although they should. They aren't currently sponsoring this podcast. So, I'm not just throwing, I'm just saying that because I'm very, very good with QuickBooks. So I know QuickBooks in and out. So it makes it very easy for me to want to use that one.
Don't be like me and just keep all your receipts in a vanilla folder, and then when it's time to file taxes, you're like.
And I'm just going to say right now, shout out to Sherry Ingram, who just bought us a virtual coffee.
Yes, thank you.
So thank you very much, Sherry. We appreciate the virtual coffee. Cheers up to you.
Yes, cheers. Take a sip of my energy drink.
What kind of energy drink is orange?
Kickstart. That's where I got the name from.
This is my. Oh, okay, that makes sense now. Because I was like, man, she came up with that name quick.
Yeah,
this is my little coffee cup from my maintenance guy for Christmas. So that's what I'm drinking out of my little Reese's coffee cup. So, all right. So you got the finances down. You got your website going, kinda. What else should you be doing in that process? And this is the one that everybody. Before you start marketing, what is it you're forgetting, Sheena? Because but you're not saying it.
Yeah, because you know me, my brain is already at the end result, and I have to
right. You're already like, no, the business has started. We're done.
Yeah, yes. But you have to determine whether or not how are you going to get your products in? Like, are you going to drop ship? Are you going to order everything wholesale and have inventory on hand? And then once people buy from you, you mail it out, or you're going to sell in person? You got to figure out how you're going to sell, how you're going to distribute your product, so you know how to set up your website, reach out to suppliers, calculating your shipping costs, and all those ins and outs. You want to have that whole flow already iron out exactly how everything is going to process.
Yes, there's one other thing that you're forgetting.
I am. And my energy drink ain't kicked in yet. What is it?
You need to investigate locally with your county and your state what legal things you may need to have posted on your website posted with your payments to make sure that you are following all local and federal guidelines as far as legality. And I know this is a big thing that a lot of people don't do. And they skip this step. But it is the one step that can come back to bite you and take everything you've worked for. So make sure you do that. Make sure, with the people that you're buying from, that there's some kind of contract in place.
Right.
Don't just get out there and be buying a bunch of stuff on Wish and trying to resell it to your friends and family without some kind of contract. Yes. Get a wholesale license. Do the right thing.
Yeah, you want to do your research because you want to have quality products, because you don't want to just order the cheapest thing out there. You want to order you some samples, check out the quality, make sure they're up to par. Because once you get out there and start selling, and you're building customer base, and then your customers are ordering your stuff from you, and then they receive poor quality products, they're not gonna buy again. They're not gonna spread good reviews about you. So you want to do your research at this phase to make sure you're getting quality products. You know where you're going. You to get your suppliers.
Right.
You basically want to do your research. And also, I just thought about a good example. I can use myself as an example for what you just said, because in one of my businesses, I'm planning an event. I was thinking about planning an event that included the sale of wine, having wine. And I learned and during the process of putting together this event that I have to do the event in a restaurant or a bar that has already selling wine and alcohol, or I have
Mhm.
to get my own liquor license, or I have to have a liquor license if I want to have it in an event hall or something, which I didn't know. So I would have been like in violation of the state law because I don't have a liquor license
And then, yep, and
if I
then you
put
could have
this
been
event in.
arrested.
Yes,
You
for
could have
putting
been
this
shut
event
down.
on. So yes,
And every single member that came to that event could have sued her.
yes. So
All
the
because
event,
she didn't do
yes,
the diligence of finding that out. And that's the biggest thing. No
so
matter what you do, you got to make sure you're doing it legally, because if they can come after you for that money, they are
right.
going to. And they are going to
It's
find the crap out of you, and they're going to do it because you're going to pay it because you're chasing your dream.
right. In the beginning, you do abundance of research, research. It's you're going to spend hours on top of hours researching and gathering information, but it's all worth it because you're going to make sure your I's are dotted, T's is crossed before you get out there to save yourself in the long run. Don't run and jump in the deep end and hope and pray things
Right, without a
go
raft,
smoothly
man.
because you're going to run into some really you don't want to mess with legal stuff. I'm telling you, you don't
Right.
want them type of problems. Legal and the IRS, you don't want them type of problems. So
And
do
those are
your
the only problems
research.
you need to avoid, as long as you're not doing nothing illegal already. Now, if you already selling something illegal, that falls on you. Chase your dreams, man. Whatever.
Well,
But over here we trying to do stuff legally so that we can like make
right,
money and not go to prison.
right. I want to enjoy my
Um,
money outside of the
right.
bars.
Honestly, I don't even care if I enjoy my money as much as making sure that whenever I'm gone someday, my money takes care of the people I love.
Exactly.
So,
That's why
and
I'm going
that's
hard. Yes, because once I close my eyes, I want to have a legacy, leave it behind a legacy that my son do not have to go through the struggles I went through with trying to survive. So
right.
one thing I want to save, I work so hard for in creating multiple businesses on top of businesses is because I want to build that generational wealth, and I don't want my son to ever have to experience that paycheck to paycheck feeling if I can help it. So let me
Because
take on
listen,
that.
that's a hard place to come from. And
Yes. It's a hard place to be stuck in, and like I've been there, so it's like, no, this is not what I want. So yeah, I work off of mostly 4 hours of sleep because listen, at the end of the day, I want to have that generational wealth and when I go to retire, I want to have that legacy I can pass down and to my son so he won't have to worry or go work as hard as I'm doing.
so now this next part is Sheena's favorite part because she said it like 12 times, guys.
I did. What is this part? I'm probably gonna
Um,
say it again, ain't
so we're done. We're done with
it?
legal. We've got all the information we need. We
Yes,
got
I
our
don't like
website
legal.
up. We got the website up. We got all the information we need. We got all of our products in. They're all labeled. We got our UPC. We bought our UPCs. They all have their own UPC. Everything's up on the website. We're ready to go, and we hit launch. Now what?
We got to be collecting some payments.
How you gonna collect payments? Come on, man. You just said it like 3 minutes ago.
Oh, you gotta
Let me
like
send
advertise. You gotta
Sheena a text.
yeah,
There you go.
get some customers. That's part of
You
getting
gotta
payments because
market.
you got to sell. You got to
You
sell and market to get them payments.
And how do you sell and market, Sheena? Who you gonna market to? Who you gonna market?
Not
No,
my
let me not.
friends. I'm not gonna go to my mama and daddy because they gonna be looking like, oh, that's good. I ain't gonna buy nothing. But listen, you got to get out there in the
So no,
world to
let's sell
strangers.
this. We gotta sell Kickstart Fitness. Who is
Yes,
our target audience?
people who need who interested in fitness and losing weight and getting healthy because we selling waist trainers and uh supplements. So what we selling in our fitness thing? We
So
selling
where would we
activewear.
go
So
to target those people? How could we meet people like that?
hey, I'll right now in the era of social media, get on social media, post to groups, get on TikTok, make you some videos in your activewear. We're gonna sell what we selling? We selling workout gear. So get you some workout gear, make you some TikTok videos in your workout gear, post that. We're gonna go to some events, some flea markets. If you got your on hand stuff, you can schedule you some events and get you a table and broadcast your stuff and reach out to other people who are in the fitness industry and see if you can be sponsored through them or and give out some postcards or marketing material to get your name out there. There's some abundance of ways you can get your name out there.
Absolutely. So with that being said, you know where to market. Now you just got to do it. And this is where the work comes in, guys.
Hard
You
work.
thought it was hard. You thought staying up till 4 a.m. working on your website was hard. Now you have to juggle and balance whatever your full-time job is and finding the time to go talk to these people, go sit down with these people, go connect with these people so that you can further along your personal business. That is where the struggle starts, is when you have to start marketing. But it's worth it, guys. It is the hardest part. You can ask Sheena. I mean, Yin Yang the podcast is proof of that. We are a small business and we are slowly getting our name out there more and more. But we're not getting our name out there more and more by not doing anything. We are consistent. From the moment that we started, Sheena and I have been here every single Saturday with y'all talking. We haven't missed a Saturday. When we were sick, I was on here when I had COVID. I was on here with bronchitis.
Girl,
Sheena's
y'all
been
know
on here.
I was here in the car, traveling, everything.
Yep. She was on vacation on the podcast, but that's the thing, is you have to keep being consistent. Consistency is key. If you're out there and you're marketing, let's say Kickstart Fitness. Guess what? I'm going to get those yoga pants on. I'm going to join every local gym and I'm going to be there. And yeah, it might suck. I might have had a really long day at work and my feet might hurt and my back might hurt and it might be horrible. But guess what? I'm going to go in that gym somewhere and find somewhere to sit. And I'm going to communicate with every single person I see. Hello, how are you doing today?
Right.
Oh yeah, no, these yoga pants, you can get them on Kickstart. Yep.
They're going to ask you, where'd you get your pants from? And you're going to hand them a card or tell them about your website. They're going to, I'm going to order. And if you don't get out there, then they won't even know your website existed. But look how many, because with that one person you meet, they could know 20 other people and they love your outfit. They can tell 20 of their friends and stuff. And now you got 21 people going to your website just by you meeting one person. So, yes.
And that's how you market and network. And let me just start by saying, I am a big thing on social media. I'm not a big thing on social media. Nobody really likes me. But I am really good at marketing with social media. So I really like TikTok. I really like Facebook. I am not as good with Instagram. But in saying those things, I say anybody can learn how to market using the internet. Anyone can. In fact, TikTok and Facebook, there are actually people out there that charge you $10 or whatever that will go ahead and teach you how to do it. But all you have to do is create a page and put yourself out there. I'm nothing super special. You know what I mean? Like I don't have any superpowers. I like to pretend I do, but apparently invisibility is not really a thing. So I don't have any superpowers, but what I do is I'm myself all the time. This is who I am. I'm a hippie girl that lives out in the mountains. And I don't pretend to be anything I'm not, because if you're genuine with people, then they will genuinely like you.
That's true.
It's when you get out there and you're faking it and you're trying to be somebody you're not just for a sale that people are like, because people buy and spend money with people they like. Point blank.
And so if you're passionate and genuine about it, it shows. It will shine through.
Yeah, if you're out there being a jerk to everybody you meet, I'm sorry. I will spend extra money just to support a small business or extra money to support someone that I like or that can make me smile and I feel is genuine, then I'll spend a lot of extra money than to take something
Yes.
from someone who has treated someone poorly in front of me.
Yeah, I had somebody call me the other day try to sell me something. He was really a jerk, so I hung up on him. Do you get that kind of stuff? If you're a
Right.
jerk, I hung up the phone. I don't have time.
So I had, and this was for Yin Yang the podcast, I had this company call me. So they start off and they were like, hi, we see that Yin Yang the podcast has not been activated on Siri voice search. And I said, excuse me? And he goes, you're not activated on Siri voice search. And he called the right person only because like social networking is kind of like one of the things I know a lot about. So I was like, so I'm not active on Siri voice search? And he goes, no. And I was like, that's strange because you can ask Siri anything that you can ask Google and she'll give you the answer. So I don't believe that. And instead of him trying to explain what he meant or anything, he comes back with, you're probably not even the real effing owner. And all I said back before he disconnected the call was, I truly and sincerely hope you lose your job. And then he hung up on me. Because, regardless if I was the owner or not, how do you think that that's going to get you a sale?
Right. You cussing at me is not going to make me spend my money with you.
That makes no sense. Like, if he'd have been like, no, let me tell you what it is, ma'am, I probably would have listened. And I might have even, I probably would have known that he was lying. But I would have at least heard him out because I am wanting to build and grow. So I would have heard out what he said, and I might have even been interested and paid whatever stupid fee they were wanting just to do a little bit more marketing on the side. However, as soon as he was like, you're probably not even the effing owner, I was like, perfect. Like now I know this is either a scam or you have a horrible boss because this is not customer service or sales. So we got marketing down. There is one step that 90% of people do not do that I need to stress.
What's that?
To all of you. Business insurance.
Yeah.
This is not This is not a plea. This is not a plea to try to get you to sign up for something, guys. I don't sell insurance. I don't know anything about it. No, I actually know a lot about it because Sheena does sell other kinds of insurance. But you need business insurance, and you need that because if anything goes wrong with your company and you're getting sued, you need to have the backing to not lose every dime of yours in your dream.
And it's affordable. There's plans out there that it's really affordable to give you some type of coverage, and you can always upgrade later as you grow, but you do want to get some type of general liability, or if you're dealing with like people personal information, you want to get errors and omission assurance as well added to that.
And the general liability, like she said, isn't bad. I can tell you that I used to own a remodeling business. And with that remodeling business, our insurance was only $171 a month. And this is a business that we were in people's houses and remodeling projects up to $150,000. So that's not a bad price for insurance to be doing those kinds of jobs. And then the flip side to that was we also, like, let's say we only had a 5-day project. We were able to, with our insurance, we use something called Next, and you get insurance per day. So we only insured ourselves for the days that we were on a property doing actual work. So let's say we only had 5 days of worth of work that month. Our insurance bill would only be like $43. It is really affordable.
I had got a advertising on Next. I haven't really looked into them that much, but that's a good company. You think?
So my opinion of them is they're great for people that aren't going to be doing their business every day. They're not good for people that will have like an online store or something like that because you can't control what days people buy.
Right.
So you wouldn't be able to schedule that out. Whereas with Next Insurance, you have to know ahead of time. So I was able to write our schedule and say, listen, we're only going to work these days of the month. I want to go ahead and pay for those. Now, if we had taken any side jobs on a different day and I didn't call insurance that morning and tell them and pay the fee, then it was horrible. But the good thing about Next is they will give you a daily price, whereas other companies typically won't. Now, if you're just doing something like our podcast, your insurance is only $15 a month. And all that insurance is covering us for is if Sheena or I get sued. But we don't say people's names and we don't make fun of direct people on here unless you're an angry, aggressive peacock. So we don't really have those problems. And sorry, y'all, that was a joke to our coffee from this morning. So if you missed it, go watch it because then you'll get the joke.
That peacock.
So
Peacock needs to sit down before he get a hit put out.
Listen, and so just so you know, I actually did, when we got off that call, I actually did a little more research. And apparently some of those species are endangered, but not all of them. But they can't tell which ones are the endangered ones because the peacocks won't let them get close. So anyways, y'all go check out our coffee and understand more of what we're talking about there.
That was the most craziest story I heard in a long time, but that was a good one.
It literally made my day. And all I keep thinking about everywhere I go is like, is this the moment? Is this the moment the peacock comes out of the woods?
Like, are they going to make it to the mountains?
Right. Like, there should be full disclosure. Like, here's your house. And by the way, it comes with aggressive peacocks.
Right. What if they turn into like that horror movie, The Birds? You remember that old ass horror movie?
Listen, I can't do that movie. I hate that movie. Every time I see a line of crows somewhere, that's all I think about is that movie.
Yes.
I see like 6 blackbirds in one area and I start looking around like, is this the moment? Is this when it's going to happen? Okay. So we got
Let's
insurance.
Get back on track. Yes.
What else do you think that you need to do at this point right here? You're marketing, you're networking, you're insured, your business is running, and you're doing everything in your power. What do you need to do now?
Start marketing. When your customers reach out to you, try to close some deals or try to catch some of those customers' information so you can like continue to reach out to them like through email or something in case they come to your website. Oh, I'm not going to buy today. You still can capture the information so you can kind of market to them at a later time.
So you're continuously marketing.
Yeah.
No, that's absolutely. I have one more suggestion, and this is the last part of it. And the reason I'm putting this suggestion out there is it's something I've done in every business I've worked in over the years. And I think it's a very beneficial thing to do. You should do a market survey. And what that means is any business similar to yours within 100 miles of you, you should look them up. You should see what their prices are. You should see what they do for customer service. You should see what vendor events they're signed up for or events they have going on. You should try to see what it is that business is doing that you aren't doing, and you should do it better.
That's a really good idea. That's a really good tip.
And I say that just so we're all clear, there's not another podcast within 50 miles of us, because I've looked, and I actually looked for completely different reasons. I was trying to get us a guest on the podcast, and that's why I was like, okay, maybe if I find somebody within 50 miles, I can just invite them out here to be on the podcast. However, there's not one. And maybe there is, but there's not a registered one with the federal government. So,
gotcha.
But market surveys are really important. And there's a step that a lot of people skip. Now, a lot of people don't even make it to that step before they start to give up. My biggest thing, y'all, is if you had put in all that work to start it, because I can tell you on average, it takes about 6 months to launch a business. You know, if you're good at it, like if you're a professional small business launcher like myself, I can probably launch one in about 4. However, once you get to the point where, you know, it's kind of falling back on you, where you have to do everything, if you're at a point or you're at a standstill and you feel like, oh man, my dream's shot, there's nothing else I can do. It is what it is. I just got to let it go. You don't have to. But you are going to have to then put in the work. You have to figure out why people aren't coming to you and they're going to someone else.
Continue research. Never stop.
Right.
Researching.
And there's some things you're never going to be able to solve. If Kickstart Fitness, if someone decides that they don't like, so let's say Sheena's the owner. If someone is racist, they probably won't come to Sheena's store and buy her Kickstart Fitness stuff. But you know what she can do? She can use that. She can launch a TikTok that says, hey, I just recently found out some people won't buy from me because they're racist, and that hurts my feelings because I love everybody. And guess what that's going to do? That's going to get her sympathy buys from people that aren't racist. And that's what you got to do. You got to use your intelligence to market. You got to use your people skills to network. And you got to use your brain, for the basics. But once you've launched your business, once you've done all the work to launch it, the only thing left to do is do it. And that part, you're using your heart. We are on here with these topics, and I'm not doing all this research every week just to have fun, just to look cute on camera, or, because I always look cute on camera. So except for morning coffee, y'all, I never look cute on morning coffee. Don't go look at it if you want to see me look cute. But it's one of those things where all it is at that point is your heart. Getting on these podcasts every weekend, me and Sheena do because we love to, because we have a dream, because we're chasing that dream, because we're trying to get there. There's nobody in the world that just wakes up one day and they're a millionaire, unless you win the lottery, which I'm decided that I'm going to win tonight. So I apologize to anyone else that is playing. Tonight's my night. So y'all, can win next week. So
I need a loan.
You got to wait until I get the funds in. I think it takes like 30 days after I win the millions of dollars.
For real? Okay, I'll wait.
It might be like 20. I'll let you know how many days it is.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never won the lottery before.
I just need like $1 million. That's it.
Oh, that's not big at all. And I'm sorry, you said you wanted that as a loan or
Well, you can give it to me.
Okay. Okay, so apparently I've just invested in My Stable Mind. So that we're all clear, or My Stable Wealth. I'm not sure which one I just invested in, but so we're going to send out My Stable Wealth Yin Yang the podcast cups to everyone else who invested. So, just put your name on there. Let us know. So the very last thing that I want to just throw out there for everybody is, if you're having problems launching your own business, or you're in the beginning phases and you're not really sure what to do, My Stable Wealth, which is one of Sheena's companies, is going to be launching some small business courses, so sort of say some like trainings to help you with those items. So you can reach out. It has not posted yet, but as soon as the university opens, I will go ahead and make sure it posts to Yin Yang. And Sheena, can you give us a little bit more information about that? Because I sounded very vague. I sounded like I was like hiding your business information. But that was me trying to explain somebody else's stuff to somebody. So go ahead.
No problem. But I was gonna chime in and just say, like, if you're not already following the My Stable Wealth page, go ahead and follow it. And there's the My Stable Wealth Warriors group. Go ahead and join that group. That would be the top place I can say that you need for updates, because once it's launched, that will be the first place I will be posting what's going on with My Stable Wealth, the launch dates, the pre-launch, the sign-ups. Everything will be posted to the My Stable Wealth page first and foremost. So make sure you're following that page. But The Learning Center will be launching in just a couple of weeks, so make sure you're following that page because just a couple of weeks, the Learning Center will be launching, and you will have an opportunity to get access to those self-paced courses to learn how to everything wealth building, small business. I'll be teaching you how to save and budget, how to start a business, how to get through the paperwork. Just like the list that we went through today, I'm going to have a course, video course for you to walk you through screenshots and screen sharing type of course to walk you through each step. So there's going to be abundance of information out there for side hustles, for starting small business, for building that generational wealth. So everything finance, services, wealth building out there is going to be available in this learning center, this learning academy. What you call it, university, whatever name that um y'all want to get of it. This learning center is going to have abundance of information, so you definitely want to be on board with it if this is the route you want to go to learn. I'm going to make sure the information is out there for you. So really just stay following My Stable Wealth because it is going to happen very, very soon.
Yes, yes. Y'all jump on there and follow that if you haven't already. If you have followed Gigging the podcast, I've already sent you an invite to that. So please make sure you jump on there, accept your invite, get your butts in there and follow what's going on. Because it's only
Right.
going to get better. And from what I understand, and I don't know if this is like, so I'm going to drop a secret to y'all because Sheena's not giving me permission to release this, but I'm hearing that her company's doing some pretty cool giveaways this year
Oh,
with
yeah.
some pretty cool stuff. So y'all don't have to join if you don't want, but I'm gonna join so that I can win all this free stuff.
Right. So if you're not in the group or you're not following the page, listen, don't get mad when you don't miss out. When you miss out on free 3-day, 5-day vacations that I'm gonna be giving out, or $200 restaurant gift cards that I'm be willy-nilly giving out to members of my group. So besides the abundance of information that I'm going to be giving out free in the group, um, I am going to be giving away free vacations and free restaurant gift cards.
So
So you
not everything
definitely,
within the group is gonna cost money. And that's the
yes,
biggest thing to remember. You can be a part of a really cool group and a really cool team without paying for anything. You know,
right,
sometimes you need to pay for the things that you might want extra out of that group, like her university and things like that. However, you don't have to pay to be an active member in anybody's group.
no,
You know, not those ones, anyways. Not to say that there's not other kinds of groups that you have to pay to be,
pay,
there's
yes,
always paid membership groups.
to groups.
She
Yeah,
actually has one.
My Facebook group, the Wealth Warriors, you do not have to pay to join. It's a
See?
public group. So just go out there to Facebook, um, Yin Yang the podcast the other week, share the link. So if you're following Yin Yang the podcast page, just scroll down the page, you should see the link. Because we did share it on a previous podcast, so it's out
And I'll
there.
reshare it today.
Yep, reshare it. That's fine. Just go out there and make sure you join the group because I will be dropping, like I said, gems in that group, information that is exclusive that you can help. Let me do the research. I done already did all of this research, so I am going to put all of my research that I have done for you on these topics: small business, savings plans, and everything, wealth building. All that research I'm done, I'm going to give it to you free in this group. And then the Learning Center is going to have some courses and stuff that will be paid. But listen, it's going to be reasonable. I'm not the type of coach out there that's going to be like, hey, I got all of this information. I'm going to teach you how to do it. And I need $2,000 and I'll tell you all the information. No, because I've been there. People who want to just do better, but they financially cannot do better because of where they're at. I'm making it reasonable um, for people to learn this information, to do better um, with their life, to reach those goals. So yes, my courses will be reasonable. Um, that I do will offer that have a price tag on it, but I will have abundance of information that I'm going to be giving out for free. So it doesn't hurt to just join the group. So
Right.
go out there and join the group and get this information and win you a trip. Don't miss the trip because it's coming.
Yeah, listen, I need to know how many followers I need to get you to get a vacation. So if you can just send me that information in an email. So sorry, y'all. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I am
Girl,
gonna
I was
join.
just about to
I've
say, you
already
better go
joined her
follow
group.
that page. If you following that page,
I've already
you'll know
joined the group.
Yes, join the group.
I've already
'cause
joined
when
the group, and
listen,
and I actively work hard because listen, all the stuff that Sheena does, she may, pay me to do some little things on the side for her, but y'all, I pay the same things that, if I want to buy something, I got to buy it. And it's not because me and Sheena don't work together or nothing like that. It's because I support small businesses. Sheena and me are close enough where she would be like, girl, I'll just give you access. But the reality of it is, no, don't just give me access. I'm your friend, but I'm also a consumer, and I feel like if your friends are looking for a discount, they're not your friends, because your friends would support your business. If my friend comes out and says, man, I'm selling these $50 t-shirts, I don't care if the t-shirt looks weird. That's my friend. That's their dream. I'm buying me a $50 t-shirt because that's what you're supposed to do. When you're helping someone chase a dream and you support them, those are the things that you do. So go out there, be a good friend, be a good follower. All she's asking you to do is like the page, follow her content. She's not asking you to buy nothing. It's when you get to that point, if you decide to do those things, that you're going to want to purchase those videos because she's going to give you all the information and all the research she's already done in one area for you to use, which is so great. It's like having your own little library.
right.
So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and end tonight's podcast. However, keep in mind, we will be back up with current events next Saturday morning at 7 a.m. And there will be a lot of information you'll receive throughout this week. So if you run into any questions or comments, please reach out to us. But until next week, y'all, we are out of here.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Two people, two opinions,
Two opinions,
real talk.
real talk. Y'all have a good one.